So, are you a woman having menopausal or perimenopausal symptoms and feel like your meds are just not working at all? Stay tuned. Hi, this is GH Glade for Everyday ADD Coaching. Women with menopause need to be aware of several menopausal and menopausal issues. Menopause can come with a whole host of symptoms that have led women to say to me, boy, it's like before my medications were even there. It can be memory problems, mood changes, hot flashes, insomnia. Women entering menopause frequently complain of short term verbal memory, word retrieval, and mental clarity. These symptoms now relate to decreasing estrogen levels that affect the brain. As a woman with ADD, you need to work with a women's health specialist who is aware of the interaction of ADD symptoms and estrogen levels. And hormonal replacement is a complicated issue. I don't profess to have knowledge about speaking to those issues specifically because I'm not an OBGYN. Later in menopause and perimenopause, estrogen levels decline and they can lead to ADD symptoms becoming more severe. Estrogen is a key female hormone that affects the brain and levels of dopamine and norepinephrine as well. In your teens, there are higher levels of these two important chemicals, and the brain uses them to communicate between dopamine and norepinephrine systems. But the levels in those chemicals are typically lower in brains affected by ADD. Menopause symptoms can unequivocally mimic ADD symptoms. It's even one of the mechanisms for adult onset ADD. Research hasn't really determined whether ADD women are more effective or just differently affected by menopause. Studies in women have shown that estrogen improves memory and cognitive functioning for women. Research using objective psychometric tests has reported higher scores for women taking estrogen. It appears to affect a global effect on cognition and maintaining aspects of verbal memory in particular. But it doesn't seem to have that same effect on spatial memory. Healthcare providers need to take into account this information and really come at it from a more holistic approach. Stimulant medications may need to be increased, and women often find they need coverage for 16 to 20 hours. Now, this is a double edged sword because sometimes increasing the level of stimulant leads to toleration effects. You can have too much stimulant and then you feel like you're just vibrating, and that's no good either. The other aspect of increasing that duration of response to 16 to 20 hours is you also run the risk of impairing sleep. And sleep is pretty darn important, let's face it. Unfortunately, in a 2019 survey, postgraduate resident trainees in family medicine, internal medicine, and OBGYN in the US resident programs, only 6.8 of these people felt they were adequately prepared to manage women experiencing menopause. There are some commonly used non hormonal alternatives for the various physiological changes that women go through. Neurotransmission modulators, such as serotonin reuptake inhibitors and gabapentin, they are at best only about half as effective as relief from those menopausal symptoms of ADD, and they're only marginally better than placebo. So I wish the news were better. The takeaways for this is, first of all, don't discount what naturopaths bring to the table. I find what naturopaths bring to the table is very, very useful. The issue of hormone replacement, and it's best discussed with a women's healthcare provider and one who actually feels competent, who are experiencing perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms. This is a question to ask rather than just going to somebody and assuming they know. Talk to your healthcare provider who's prescribing your ADD meds. It may be that you can increase that duration of response by longer acting medication or medication without impairing sleep. Have them also look at modestly increasing dose and finding that level where you may get better control of symptoms, hopefully without making you feel like you're on something or vibrating. So this is J.H. Clay for Everyday ADD Coaching. If this has been a useful presentation, I'd love to hear your comments and feedback. And if you'd like to give it a thumbs up, that helps it in the algorithm. And pass it along to other women you know.